Hello.
Hi, Heather.
Hi, people.
Hi, audience. Happy day after Christmas, everyone.
How was your Christmas?
It was fine. No news is good news. Not a big Christmas person, to be perfectly honest with you.
Yeah.
Yeah. And may I wish you happy first day of Kwanzaa.
Oh, okay. Cool. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Very cool.
You're welcome. So for today's show, we're going to be doing part 2 of the latest casino bonuses questions, which are over at my sister's site, latestcasinobonuses.org. Mm-hmm. Their members submitted questions for us, and there were so many that we only got through about half of them last week. So this week is going to be part 2.
Looking forward to it.
Yep, and I also have some Christmas trivia for you and the audience.
Yes.
Yes. Anyone in the audience yet?
Let us know if you are here. Go ahead, chat with us. Also, let us know if you could see us, hear us, and everything is working okay. Love the troubleshooting part of this job.
Okay. It would be nice to get one audience member.
Well, what kind of trivia?
Okay. Let's get started with that.
Okay. I'm probably going to flunk.
Don't put out that negative energy out there.
Oh, I'm sorry.
So I'm going to do great. Okay, here we go. What made Frosty the Snowman come to life?
Wasn't it a hat?
Yes, but what was the hat made of?
Christmas magic?
No. Howdy, Miplet. Miplet might know this one.
Okay, ask Miplet.
Miplet, what made Frosty the Snowman come to life?
I said a hat, but I don't think that's the right answer.
Okay, it is a hat, but you only get half credit.
I only get half credit.
Because you have to specify what the hat is made of.
Cloth?
It is a certain kind of material, but cloth is not what I'm looking for.
Must have been some magic in that old brown hat brown cloth.
I think his hat was black, but I'm not looking for a color.
Darn it.
But I loved how you were going through the song. That was clever.
Well, they pretty much explained it in the song, right?
Yes, I believe so.
Okay.
Okay, Miplet, any answer? Yay!
Silk! Silk!
All right, a silk hat made Frosty the Snowman come to life. So audience, not to accuse anyone, but please, no cheating unless I say you're allowed to search it.
Oh,
but I'm probably not going to say that. Okay, ready for number 2?
Yeah, let's do number 2.
Number 2, and there's 10 of them, by the way.
Oh, okay.
What spy reports to Santa Claus on who is good and who is naughty?
I thought Santa Claus did that.
No, but he has helpers.
So the elves.
And where might the elves be to spy on people? And I'll give you a hint. It rhymes with elf.
Shelf on an elf.
Close, an elf on a shelf.
Oh, shoot. Elf on a shelf.
I'll give you credit anyway. Yes, the elf on a shelf. That's why they're there, to be a spy for Santa Claus.
Woo!
Oh, yes, and Miplet...
oh, you put this in your newsletter?
Right, so I'm kind of double dipping here.
Oh.
So you're not allowed to answer if you read my newsletter. Okay. Okay, what Christmas staple is... let me see how I phrase the question. Okay, what Christmas staple was originally meant to help kids remember the story of Christmas, and in particular, the birth of Jesus?
A song.
No, it's a physical thing that you would still commonly see associated with Christmas, but you probably don't know why it's a Christmas thing.
The star on the tree?
It's kind of obvious that represents the Star of Bethlehem. So, but to give you a hint, who showed up at the birth of Jesus?
The 3 wise men.
And?
All of their gifts.
And who were some other guests?
Sheep?
Okay, not the animals, but yes, some sheep showed up. So the wise men, the animals, and who else?
You do realize I'm an atheist, right?
But atheists should have a broad knowledge of all religions, right? So they can discuss and debate with religious people.
maybe some atheists, but with me in particular, I'm like, okay, I know enough. I'm good. Let's move on.
Well, I love debating anything, especially religion.
You're going to win every time if you, like, talk with me about religion, because I'll be like, you're right. I don't know. Sure? Like, yeah? So who was it?
Okay, let's see if anyone in the audience gets it. Yes, shepherds. And what might a shepherd have been carrying?
Sheep. I said sheep. I was right.
No.
Yes.
No, the shepherds don't go around lugging sheep around like,
don't
no,
know.
you don't belong here, you belong there. No,
You
they
don't
have
know.
a tool. They have a tool to help move the sheep. And that tool would be...
Dude, my mind just went in the wrong place right now. I should not answer this.
Oh, boy. Oh, boy. Okay, let's not talk about sheep anymore.
Sounds good.
Okay, right.
Uh,
I can't read your name, but somebody...
Mr.
1119.
Chad. Oh, no. DJ.
Yes, the candy
J-Dog.
cane.
What about the candy cane?
And what might a candy cane have to do with a shepherd?
Whatever
Right.
that thing is?
Yes, it would be that thing. And what are those things called?
A candy cane?
Well, the actual things that are long that you might use to, I guess, like wrap around the sheep's head or maybe its collar and move it.
The only thing I can think of is a scythe, and I don't know that's not the correct answer.
No. That's something associated with the devil and reapers.
Yeah, but it's still like basically, Okay, anyway.
Okay, we have a lot of questions to get through, so let's move on.
Let's do this.
Right, they're supposed to represent like the hook that shepherds have.
Okay.
In particular, the ones that showed up at the birth. Okay, number 4. Who was Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer elf? Who was his elf companion?
He had a health companion?
He had, no, not a health companion, just a friend, kind of like his conscience.
Jiminy Cricket. I got that one, right?
That's a good guess. He is a good conscience and advice giver. Always tried to lead Pinocchio the right way. But I'm looking for kind of like the Rudolph equivalent to that.
Was it in the Rudolph song?
I don't think so. No.
Then I have no idea the answer.
Okay. Does anyone get it here? I don't see it. That would be Hermie.
Hermie?
Yes, Hermie.
He had a name?
Yes, Hermie the elf. Yes.
Where was this?
I haven't seen it in like 45 years, so
Uh-huh.
I can't. But I do recall Hermie trying to give Rudolph advice.
Was it a cartoon? Was it one of
Yes.
those claymation cartoons?
Yes.
Ah, okay. I always fell asleep. No wonder. Got it. Okay.
You fell asleep?
I fell asleep
I
through those.
loved that.
I'm sorry. They were.
What was your favorite Christmas cartoon?
Oh, probably the Charlie Brown one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you like The Grinch Who Stole Christmas?
Oh yeah, that one was a good one too.
Yeah.
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 That was good.
And then there was another one about like the story of Santa Claus and something about Mr. Heat and Mr. Cold.
Oh yeah, I remember. That was the claymation one too.
Yeah,
Yeah, and
that one I
Santa
liked.
was in there. Yeah.
I love that song. I'm Mr. Iceman. Blah blah blah.
Oh my God, I haven't thought about that in like 40 years
Oh,
or 30
boy.
years or however old I am.
But I like that one too. Okay, number 5. In what holiday movie does Donald Trump make a cameo appearance?
I know this. I know the
Okay,
answer. Yes.
Okay, I would love you to get one right.
That was so rude. Oh, okay. Let me see if I could actually do this. Let's see. It was the second one. It was Home Alone, but it was 2. It wasn't the first one. It was the second one.
Which would be titled...
Oh, there's a title, Home Alone 2?
Yay!
Woo!
Home
Yes!
Alone 2.
Yay!
There you go. Absolutely full credit. Okay.
Actually know that one.
All right.
And P-Share got it too.
In which country does the Advent calendar come from? Do you know what an Advent calendar is? These are those things where there's 25 like doors.
Oh, that thing.
And you open up a door every day of Christmas from the 1st to the 25th, and behind it will be a piece of chocolate shaped in some sort of a Christmas-related thing.
I'm guessing either Norway or Germany.
It's one of those two.
Oh, really?
You can settle for half credit now, or risk it all and go with a specific country.
I will risk it all, and I will go with Norway.
Wrong. It was Germany. Shoot. You still are stuck at 1 point. Okay. Okay. Who is the legend of Santa Claus based on?
Old Saint Nick.
And who is Old Saint Nick?
A saint.
Can you tell me a little bit more about him?
His name was Nick.
Okay, but it's kind of self-defining that his name was Nick and he was a saint. But, okay, I'll give you a little credit so far, but I want some more detail. Like, why was Saint Nick, why was this saint in particular the basis of the Santa Claus myth?
God, I am the last person who should be talking about Christianity. Okay, so in the Christian mythology, Christian religion, basically, what is it? He is a saint that really liked presents, and he did something wrong, so they tossed him up to the North Pole and said, forever you will be dealing with children, and that is your punishment.
Well, the only part of that that's correct was he liked to give presents.
Oh, okay, cool.
So this was a Greek bishop around the year 300, and at that time Greece was really huge, and he lived in what would today be Turkey, and he was loved to give presents, and he loved to give them to children and the poor, and I think he liked to do it anonymously wherever he could, and he just built up this reputation as just being such a wonderful person. Just, he was very selfless, and like I said, he loved giving gifts. And so he was Saint Nick, and in, I believe it's Norwegian, Dutch, that the word for Nicholas is Klaus. And the word for saint is Sinter. So his name he was called in Dutch Sinterklaas.
So
and from that, we easily get Santa Claus.
Yes!
Okay, how much credit should I give you?
Oh, 0.
I can give you, well, at least you got Saint Nicholas. I'll be generous and give you half a point.
I
okay,
appreciate that.
You have 1.5.
Okay, cool.
Okay.
More than I deserve. I do appreciate that.
Okay.
And by the way, everybody in the chat got Home Alone 2 right. One person said Die Hard 3, and J-Dog got Germany correct.
Yep. Very good, audience. Okay, number 8. Okay, the song Deck the Halls contains the lyric, Troll the Ancient Yuletide Carol.
Okay.
Okay, and you hear the words Yule and Yuletide a lot associated with Christmas. So what are Yule and Yuletide?
There are 2 answers for Yule. So number 1 is the actual thing, Yule log. So, a log. The second one is Yule, which is the holiday that was a pagan holiday or Wiccan celebrated, and it happens during Christmas, and this was what Christmas was technically based off of when they stole, the religion.
And where did the, shall we say, pagan Wiccans... Okay, so I know it's that they celebrate Yule now, but what is the history of Yule? Where did it start?
I could tell you about casino stuff.
But don't you have a love for all knowledge?
I have a love for all knowledge. I'm not a big Christmas fan.
I'm not a big Christmas person either, but nevertheless, I try to absorb as much information about anything that I possibly can.
And that is very admirable.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay, so this is one where I will definitely give you some credit for saying that Yule is a holiday associated with pagans and witches and Wicca. Okay, but to expand on that, and one could probably talk about this the whole show, is Yule was the name of a month in Norwegian, somewhere in the winter. And somehow in Germany, or what's present-day Germany, they started to celebrate kind of like a whole 2-month winter festival. and they kind of borrowed this Norwegian word, and they called it Yule or Yuletide for this winter festival. And I think the whole period, the 2-month period, was called Yuletide, but there was one special day just called Yule. And like I said, this was celebrated in the winter, probably so they would have something fun to do to get through the winter. And I think some people still celebrate this in Germany. And because all these winter holidays are all interconnected, I mean, it seems like everybody wants to claim this time of year, and they adopt each other's rituals and terminology. But yes, it was basically a German pagan kind of holiday. So I think I'll give you half credit there.
Cool.
So now you're at 2 points.
Awesome.
All right.
Out of 10. Now, before we continue, I just want to say to the audience who is watching, my apologies if I offend anyone. I do not know anything about religion, and if I offend you or make you feel bad, it is not my intent.
Well, I don't think you've said anything offensive. So I don't think you have anything to apologize for.
That's good.
Okay.
Cool.
Okay. All right. So I think you're great.
Thank you.
All right. Number 9. What is the modern day image of Santa Claus based on? And don't cheat.
Oh,
Don't
sorry.
Look at the answers.
I didn't see the answer.
Okay.
What is the modern Santa based on?
Yes, for example, we already covered that he is based on St. Nicholas, who lived 300 years ago, but nobody took a drawing of him.
I thought so. I thought St. Nick was a big old burly
But
dude
why
with
do
a
you
white
think?
beard.
Okay, but why do you think that?
I thought that's what St. Nick looked like. I mean, seriously, that's what I thought.
But how would we know that? Because people didn't generally have their paintings done until the Renaissance.
In that case, would he have been described in a song or a story?
That's a good theory, but no.
Okay.
No. I think I'm just gonna have to tell you.
Cave painting.
Nope.
Oh.
Let's see if anyone in the audience has anything good on this one.
Flagtooth said that he already answered these.
Okay, I don't see anyone mentioning this, but someone asked about my shirt. So this represents the A line, which is a major subway line. It starts in Queens and cuts over through Brooklyn and then up through Manhattan. So it goes through a lot of popular sites on the West Side. It's probably one of the most heavily trafficked subway lines in New York, and I took it many a times when I was staying in Queens and traveling into Manhattan earlier this month.
So the New York subway has its own gift shop with its own T-shirts.
No, but this is an officially licensed thing by the New York Transit Authority.
So they do sell T-shirts.
Yes, but I had to go in the basement of one store, and they had their special New York Transit Association stuff, and
so only for people who asked for it, not actually out on the shelves.
I mean, it was way down at the bottom, and I think they were trying to sell their cheap Chinese-made T-shirts, so that's why they put the good stuff kind of in the corner.
Okay.
All right. Where were we going? Okay, the image of Santa Claus. So,
yes.
So like I said, he lived a long, long time ago, and for a long time there was this legend about him, but no one actually knew what he looked like. And then in the movie Harper's Weekly.
Oh, so a movie actually showed
Yes,
it.
Harper's Weekly. No, this is a magazine.
Oh,
They drew a picture of him on the cover, and this was back in the 1890s or something.
Wow.
So a political cartoonist drew just what in his image, what in his mind he thought Santa Claus would have looked like, and he drew him fat and with the big white beard and holding gifts and looking just kind of like a happy, jolly person.
Huh.
And if I may say, I think he did a very good job. And this rendition that was based on nothing, but kind of how people, they knew he was male, and he probably had a beard because he lived at the North Pole, and he was probably overweight to protect himself against all this cold. But anyway, this very first image is pretty much how we still draw him today.
So you're basically telling me that Santa Claus was created by advertising and marketing for consumers.
Exactly.
Holy cow, I think my mind was just blown.
Exactly. And furthermore, I think this was really exacerbated when Coca-Cola started putting him in all their advertising around Christmas. Yeah. So
Wow.
he's basically, our image of Santa Claus is basically a marketing thing.
So,
And furthermore, to be perfectly honest with you, I think the whole abject American consumerism around Christmas is also something that we've all been tricked into.
I agree.
Like, I have been to other countries around Christmas time, like Australia, New Zealand, Germany, Mexico, and they don't go nuts like we do. And I like their way better.
Yeah.
It's just kept at a reasonable temperature, and you don't see this crazy overspending and wastefulness. But
I agree.
thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
completely,
So thank you for
100.
letting me get that off my chest.
Yes.
Okay, number 10, finally. On what date does the Armenian Apostolic Church celebrate Christmas?
I don't know, but someone's saying that they like your monocle.
Oh, thank you.
Isn't that so cool?
Yes, yes. It comes in handy a lot.
I like that, though.
Thank you.
And then you're going around and you're like, here, let me take out my...
Yes, I think that it makes me at least look smarter. Okay. But
Okay, so what were you saying?
the date of the Armenian Apostolic Church celebrates Christmas.
Oh, so it's not the normal?
Nope.
Well, would it be on winter solstice?
Nope. Okay, I'll give you a hint. They mark Christmas more so as the day that Jesus was baptized, which would have been a little bit after he was born.
So wouldn't that be Easter?
No, that's when he died.
Well, I mean, he died, he was born again, he died again, he was born again. It's all the same, right? I mean, he did all of it.
Well, we need to get on to our questions, so
Okay,
let's
let's
not go
do
through a lot of
that.
theology. But the answer is January 7th.
January 7th, okay.
Right, okay. Let's see, where did we leave off? I think we got to like question 12 or so.
Okay.
Does anyone remember?
His birthday is the same as Nicolas Cage. I didn't know that.
I did not know that either. And Nicolas Cage lives here in Vegas.
No way, he
Yeah.
does. Where does he live?
I think somewhere in Summerlin, because his kids go to
Summerlin.
the same private school that one of my kids go to.
That's
and he
cool.
has been seen picking his kid up from time to time.
Have you ever met him?
No.
Oh.
My
you-
wife has.
But you have met a celebrity at your children's school, right?
Are you talking about Andre Agassi?
Maybe that was it. Because I remember you were telling me how it was a sports thing and they were there and you went up to him and said hi.
Yeah.
Okay.
You're kind of confusing two stories, but
Oh,
yeah.
okay.
But this was at, well, I've met him twice actually, and I'm sure he didn't remember, but both times he was very cool.
Mm-hmm.
The first time was at that racing car place on Rainbow,
Oh, okay.
and he was celebrating a kid's birthday party at the same time we were, and he kindly let me take a picture with him, and then later I saw him walking his dog, and I just said, "Hey, Andre," and he said,
That's
"Hey."
really cool.
So anyway, boy, okay, let's try to get to these questions. Okay, I know we did number 11. Okay, let's start with number 12.
Okay.
And if you could read them, please.
I would like to hear your thoughts on the fair system. It seems to me that the superb idea that us as players should be demanding. Other than knowing you will be paid your winnings, I can't think of anything more important than having a fair game. And this is by Alex Wolf.
Do you understand what he's asking?
I didn't understand that word. That was the only...
Provably.
Oh, is that what that was? I don't know why I wanted to say proverbially. Yeah, I know that wasn't it.
A provably fair system. Well, I mean, I totally agree with him that fair gaming should be absolutely expected in any game, but But,
is that what he's talking about?
right. That's how I interpret the question, but I'm not sure why he uses the word system. But
I don't know. But here's the thing with casinos, especially here in Las Vegas, their integrity, the honesty and integrity of the game is so important. Yeah. The casino must maintain the honesty and integrity of the game.
Right, and they're not going to risk losing, a license worth millions of dollars.
Right.
For
cheating for $5. I mean,
right.
Come on.
Yeah, by using loaded dice or something like that. So, anyway, I hope that answers the question. Shall we move on to number 13?
Number 13. This is from Poker Granny.
Mm-hmm.
My question is, there are certain online casinos that display supposed winners' first names and their last name, or their last initial, along with the winning amount in the game that was played.
Mm-hmm.
Are these names and winning amounts actual and verifiable?
My short answer is I don't know. I would assume that they're real people.
Have you ever been on the scoreboard?
No. To be honest, I've always wanted to have my picture in a casino, like our winner's wall.
Mm-hmm.
And lots of times I have one more than some of the people on the winner's wall, but no one ever asks to take my picture.
So maybe it's not.
They probably see me and I'm just like this cold calculating player and, I won. Who cares? I want to keep playing.
Is there any way to verify that they are actually real people?
I think you just have to take their word for it.
You have to trust them.
With internet gambling, I really think that the vast majority of places play fairly. I will say that you might have to fight with them on getting a bonus and things like that. But I think that the way the cards and the dice fall are fair. And it seems to me more reasonable that they would be honest in saying that Heather F. from Las Vegas won $25,000. Because a lot of these places are really big and they probably have no shortage of people who win money. So, yeah.
Are online casinos, do they have the same rigor that other casinos have when it comes to maintaining the honesty and integrity of the game? Do they have a gaming regulator, for example?
Yeah, we could talk about this all day long, but in my opinion, online gaming regulation is getting better. For example, in the UK, a license is a bit harder to get and it's more expensive. And the industry is moving in a direction away from where any shady person could have one to where it's becoming more regulated, and a lot of first world countries will only allow licensed casinos that are licensed in their own country or some other country that they have a reciprocal agreement with. And so I think that the whole industry is becoming better regulated, but nevertheless, I still think that it's still fairly unregulated. For example, if you have a dispute with the casino, I know of no jurisdiction anywhere that says if you have a complaint against a casino licensed in our country, here is an independent arbitrator you can bring your dispute to. If anyone can tell me of any country that offers that, please tell me. And frankly, I think it's kind of ridiculous that a lot of countries are charging, say, $100,000 for a gaming license, and they don't even provide this service. Wow. I mean, they're basically just, giving you a rubber stamp for that money.
That sounds like it. Wow.
Yep. So there's my opinion, but like I said, on the bright side, I think it's getting better.
What are some things that people could look out for to see if an online establishment is shady?
You can look at the affiliate sites, especially the better, the ones with a better reputation. I would like to think my site is one of them, and I have to put in a good word for latest casino bonuses too.
Uh-huh.
You might think that I'm just saying that because they pay me, but no, they definitely do care about only promoting reputable casinos. And I could also say that about other sites like Casino Meister and the POG. I think these are definitely trustworthy sites that do screen and try to only promote good casinos. So, but I mean, every casino will say, oh yes, of course we're honest. But so you have to look at the watchdogs, and I think that when it comes to regulation, it's truly the affiliates that are the watchdogs. But I also want to say that not every affiliate is reputable, and I don't want to say any names, but I think a lot of them will give a rating according to how much they get paid. But I'm proud to say that we don't do that at the Wizard of Odds.
So check out thewizardofodds.com and check out your ratings for online casinos. You have a lot of them too. I think you've rated almost everyone.
Well, it's certainly not just me working there anymore. There's a lot more people, and it's other people that do the ratings and the writing of reviews of specific casinos.
Oh, you don't.
Where
do
I'm
that
more
anymore?
of a mathematical person.
Gotcha.
Right. So, yeah, if you were to ask me, Mike, what's your opinion of a casino dogs playing poker? I have no idea, but probably someone else on our staff does.
Positive rating. Dogs playing poker, always.
They have a cool name at least.
Right.
Okay, let's go on to the next one.
Okay. Next one is, I have a few questions and would appreciate hearing your opinion. Could you please explain what the house edge on slot machines is? And is there some certain way how we could choose the highest paying slots in the casino? And which slot machines have the best odds? Also, I would like to know, are the bonuses around winnings previously determined, or do they depend only on our choices? And this is from some person. Gillian,
boy, a lot of questions there, and we're running a little short on time, so I'm going to have to try to make this quick. Let me see. 21, okay. Whoop. Okay, well, including this one, there's only 7 more, so I think I can give this its proper attention. So you asked a lot of questions there. This could be talked about the whole show, so let me take this one at a time. Okay, first he asks...
That's a different question.
Oh, are we on 14?
Yeah, it's
okay.
This one.
Okay, first he asks, can you explain what is a house edge on slot machines? This will vary. Here in Nevada, there's a law. They have to be at least 75%, but they're even at the stingiest casinos, they will probably be at least 85%.
And when you say 85%, you're talking about the return,
Yes,
right?
the return to player. So 15% house edge, that is high. And especially on a game like slots that is super fast, where you can play 500 bets per hour.
Okay.
It's a very fast way to lose your money, so don't play slots. But if you must, follow the advice I'm about to give. Okay, how can we choose the highest playing slots in a casino? Well, first of all, I think it's more about casino choice than which game in the casino. And as you know, here in Las Vegas, basically the further away you get from the Strip in downtown, the looser the slots. So you're going to find the looser slots way out in the locals casinos like the Suncoast and
Station casinos.
Yeah, any station casinos, and this does not include the Main Street station. That is not a station branded casino.
It used to be, right?
No,
it used to be. Wasn't
I think it used to be independent, but now it's owned by Boyd Gaming.
Oh, okay.
But you might think that Boyd owns the Gold Coast and the Suncoast and the Orleans.
They don't.
They do.
Oh, okay.
But so therefore, sister property, the Main Street station, must also, set their slots loose. But when I did a study back in 2001, I found the Main Street station to be kind of average, whereas the other Boyd/Coast properties were much looser.
Okay.
In fact, had the Suncoast not tried to kick me out for doing my survey, they would have been number one. But because they were very rude with me, I didn't put them in the survey, and the Palms won.
That's why you shouldn't kick people like us out.
Yep. So, yeah, choose a good casino. And here's my rule of thumb. The fancier the casino, the tighter the slots.
Okay.
Nice and simple. Nice and simple. Okay, but once you're in a casino, you should choose a simple game. Do not choose a fancy slot machine branded around a TV show or a movie.
Isn't that most of them?
That certainly is a bigger percentage of them now, but you have to look for just a simple game like Buffaloes or Wheel of Fortune. Well, that's a bad example because there's some complicated Wheel of Fortune games. Like 50 Lions, Golden Egypt, things like that. Things that are simple, where they're not having to give a piece of the pie to a movie or a TV show. And look for something that does not have lots of fancy speakers and an enormous widescreen TV. Just a nice, simple game. That's the way you want it for the best return.
So basically you're telling me that all the movie ones with the loud noises and the big, screens and all of the, pretty graphics, they have a higher house edge in order to pay for all of that stuff, and that's why you don't want to sit down with them.
Yes, and those are called participation slots because the slot maker participates in the revenue with the casino.
Oh.
And those are typically set to an RTP of 85%, which is really
bad.
Low.
Yeah.
So stay away from the fancy ones.
Good to know.
And by the way, that 85% is not configurable. That's just the way they come out of the box.
So if you had a choice between one of those machines that had multiple lines and was a penny machine versus, let's say, a quarter machine video poker, which one would you choose?
I used to say that you should play the quarter machine, but now so many slots are video slots that that I tend to think that the denom doesn't really matter very much anymore. But where it does matter is with the simple 3-reeled slots. There, it definitely, the return is higher for the higher denominations. So I think you're also going to get a good, if you're a really high player, then I would recommend you stick with the simple 3-reel slots and make a big bet, and you don't necessarily have to bet like a max bet. Just all you need to do is to bet 1 credit at that high denom, and you'll get the benefit of that high RTP. Now, it might be a little bit higher if you make a max coin bet because of a jackpot or something. So it all depends on the game.
So the more money you spend, the more likely it is you're going to win. Like, let's
That's
say
true.
per hit or whatever.
Yeah. So as a rule of thumb, the higher the bet.
I should go in the high limit, like, slot machine area, right?
Oh, but it's also going to cost you way more per hour in expected losses. So you're going to be getting a bigger share of the pie, but you're going to be giving the casino a much bigger pie. And so basically, I would rather get 90% of 90%. I would rather lose 10% of a small bet than lose 5% of an enormous bet.
Okay.
Cool. So there you go. And when it comes to online casinos, because of all the bonuses, they tend to make the slots rather stingy, and those are configurable. But just from anecdotal information from the industry, the casinos that are really generous with bonuses tend to have really stingy slots to recoup the expense of the bonuses. So, but when my Casino 99 comes out, that's going to have all 99% slots. So no one else can make that claim now that they have 99% slots.
That's pretty
so
cool.
Hopefully someday in the future, that will be an option to you.
I'm looking forward to it.
Thank you. Don't hold your breath, but yeah. Okay.
So Fire and Void. There has been some discussion here on forums about RNG and pseudo RNG. Mm-hmm. What is used in online gambling and how is it implemented?
Okay. A lot of people misunderstand what an RNG is. It obviously stands for random number generator. And well, by the way, we forgot a part of the last question. Is I think he asked, is the outcome of a slot machine predetermined? And then they just like represent the win somehow once they've predetermined this win. But no, a good slot machine is designed where there actually are independent reels and numbers are chosen randomly, like where the reels stop, and then it will fairly pay you based on where those reels stop. And it's actually much easier to do it that way too. Okay, so going on to the one we just asked. Okay, so the way any electronic game will work, whether it be in a casino here or online, is ultimately it's random numbers that determine the outcome. And those usually are picked from an integer from 0 to a number that is 2 to the 32nd power, which is about 2.15 billion. And then they will take this huge number and then they will crunch it down to the number they need. For example, if you want to determine a playing card to show, what you might do is take that huge number, divide it by 52, and look at the remainder. And then that remainder is going to be 0 to 51, and then map it to one of the cards in the deck. That's a simple way to do it. And that's how random number generators pretty much work. And a lot of times when people say at casinos, random number generators cheating, no, it's not the random number generator that's causing the cheating. It's the way they take that original random number and apply it to a real world situation. For example, if let's say a blackjack game is cheating and it wants to, what in a land casino would be dealing seconds. Like for example, let's say the dealer is dealing seconds, which means he can see that this next card is going to help the player, so I'm not going to give it to him. I'm going to give him a random card behind it. So the way that might be done electronically is the game would just check, okay, this card would be good for the player, and this card was fairly chosen, but because it's going to be good for the player, I'm not going to give him that card. I'm going to pick another random number, map it to a card, and give him that one. And that second one still might be a good card, but because the way the game is programmed, it's not giving the player a fair first card, his chances of getting a good card are much less. And so again, it's not the random number generator's fault. It is the person who told the programmer to make the game cheat. That's whose fault it is.
Okay, so it is either the programmer's fault or it's the AI's fault. But random number generators are chosen randomly from the computer, from an algorithm, and people normally don't have any choice or anything about that. It's just picks a random number and that's the way it is. But if there is cheating, it's from the program.
Yeah, it's the programmer who has to do the programming.
Or AI. Because that would be the software making the choices.
Do you mean AI as in artificial intelligence?
Yes, I do.
Is there a particular software called AI?
Software itself? No, I'm talking about artificial intelligence.
Well, I don't think we're at a point where we can tell something like Siri, make me a cheating blackjack game. You know.
No, but I think we are at the point of having AI actually make decisions such like that. Especially when you look at those AI programs. Have you seen that one AI program where you sit there and you chat with it and you have like a conversation and you can't tell the difference between him and like a real person?
No. Can I do this online?
Yes.
What's it called?
I will send you the information because I don't have it on the top of my head.
Okay, please do.
Okay.
Let's talk about that the next show, but I'm going to try it out if I can.
Yeah, definitely. It's really interesting.
But I'm skeptical that...
Skepticism is a good thing.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I totally agree. Of course, I always agree with myself. Yes, but to get back to the fault of the cheating, I'm sure it's the programmer who told the game to cheat, but it was probably the programmer's boss who told the programmer to make the game cheat. And so it's the person at the top who I blame.
So on that note, what is your stance on provable fairness advertised at some casinos?
I'm absolutely all in favor that if a casino is promoting, or should I say advertising, that our slots, say, are looser than the downtown average, that they should prove that. And they should have proof available to anyone who asks. And when I ask this at the El Cortez, who has been saying for years, our slots are some percentage looser than the downtown average, I once went to the cashier but in an asterisk and a tiny small font at the bottom it said, see the cage for details. So I went to the cage and I said, can I have more details on this claim? And they were like, wow, no one's ever asked that before. And they had to like dig around everywhere and everyone got asked about it. And finally they dug up a piece of paper that was basically, the gaming control board's report for downtown is they do indicate on a month-by-month basis the slot return percentages that the overall casinos report, and they openly claimed here is what we claim, and it was looser than the downtown average. So that I respect. I mean, still it's possible that in theory they could have been lying, but I don't think that they were. And so yes, I definitely think that if a casino is going to make a specific claim like that they should have to prove it, and that the Gaming Control Board should hold them to proving any claim. And here's a story, I may have told this before, but at the Las Vegas Club, they had signage all over the place that they had the loosest slots downtown. So I went to the cage and I said, and I brought one of these little signs, and I said, this sign says that you have the loosest slots in town. Do you have anything to prove it? And they said, wow, no one's ever asked that before. And then after it got kicked around a little bit, they said, call the slot director in the morning. So I did. Hit his voicemail. Never got a call back. Called back the next day. Again, hit his voicemail. Never got a call back. Tried a third time. Hit his voicemail. Left a message. Never got a call back. So I went to the Gaming Control Board, and I included one of these little signs that were all over the casino, and I said, look, the Las Vegas Club is claiming all over the place that they have the loosest slots downtown. I think that they should either have to prove it or take the signs down. And someone with gaming called me very quickly, and they asked me, what did these signs say specifically, and where were they? And he did a pretty good questioning of me. But then he explained that we are going to look into this, but we're not going to be able to tell you the result of the investigation. Okay, that's fine. And then the next time I went there, 2 weeks later, on all their signage, they had taped over the word loosest with the word best. But I totally applaud the Gaming Control Board for making them do that. That is an example of good regulation.
Yeah.
And I am a total believer in a sensible balance between the private enterprise and regulation.
Yeah, me too.
If it's too much or too little regulation, things are going to go wrong.
You need the balance.
You need the balance, exactly.
Okay, cool.
Let me get some water, and you may read the next
Perfect.
question.
While he's getting water, I'm going to check out your comments real quick, see if you guys have any questions, see what you guys are saying. Luckily, not too much, thank goodness. Don't have to go through too much. Let's see here.
Sorry to have been ignoring the audience.
J-Doc says that he has a little trivia for you. Andre Agassi was a partial owner of the Golden Nugget in downtown Vegas for a few years. True or false?
I never heard that, so I'm going to say false.
Okay. So let us know, J-Dog, what the answer was. And it's right here.
What is Nick Zujic saying?
Oh, proven. Because I kept screwing up on the word, and he's trying to help me. But yeah, I butcher words. That's what I do. I'm a butcher of words.
A butcherer.
See what I mean?
Is that correct English? A butcherer? But it sounds like you're stuttering.
Shut up. Dang it. Okay, here's one. Mark says Chinese New Year is coming up, and it is a family tradition to play a game known as BAUCUA. Don't know how to say that. BAU space CUA. It consists of 3 dice and a mat that displays a crab, a gourd, a deer, a fish, a shrimp, and a chicken. That sounds pretty interesting.
Yeah, that's called Yeehaw High in Macau.
What is the house advantage on this, and why isn't this game in the casino?
It is.
It is? Where?
Macau.
Oh.
Okay, so
there you go.
This game, like I said, it's called Yeehaw High. It's basically Sickbo, but it's played instead with dice numbered 1 to 6. It's dice with those symbols on them, like fish and prawns and crabs and stuff. And you can bet that all 3 of them will be the same, or that there will be, say, exactly 1 prawn, things like that. And I've only seen it in Macau. You don't see a whole lot of tables, but you will find about all there is to say about this game on the Wizard of Oz under Yeehaw High, which I think is also translated in English to, like, gosh, I don't even remember, like, crab, prawn, chicken, something like that.
I am so impressed you have a page dedicated to that.
I try to cover as many games as I can, including the really obscure ones.
That's really impressive.
Well, thank you.
Yeah.
Well, to be honest, the math of that game wasn't that complicated, but it was complicated, like getting the rules, because in Macau, it's difficult to get the rules for anything, and hardly any dealers speak English.
That's true.
So I had to actually sit there playing the game.
And to learn.
Yeah, to learn it.
What was harder, that or tiles?
Oh, tiles is many orders of magnitude more difficult.
Okay.
Dice games in general are not that hard.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay. Do you want to do one from here or one from here?
Let's go back to the sheet.
Okay. Next question. Is that Sylvia? Sylvia. We'll just say Sylvia. How about Sylvia?
Okay.
Sylvia says, I love slots. They've been my favorite since forever. And even though I know you don't really recommend or like slot machines for that matter, which games do you think is wiser to pick? Classic, simple slots, or the new flashy ones with lots of features? Naturally, I'm drawn to games that look good and are more fun to play, but does more multi-level features equate to higher winning odds? I keep hearing bad things about modern and high-tech slots, especially from land-based casino goers. This is basically what we just talked about.
Yeah, the simpler the better.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, we already kind of covered that one in the previous question.
Yeah, we pretty much did.
And
Okay.
yeah, so we're running low on time, so...
That's okay. We got a couple more questions.
Okay.
Next question. This is from Juka, Day Juka.
Mm-hmm.
I have one more question for you. How do progressive jackpots work when we are talking about video game slots? Also, what is the difference between a local and pooled progressive jackpot?
Okay. The way progressives generally work is a certain percentage of all money bet goes into a jackpot meter. For example, in video poker, it might be that 0.5% of every bet made goes into a jackpot meter, and when someone hits a royal flush, then they win that meter. Nice and simple. Now, there are some exceptions, like with must-hit-by jackpots, but that's the general rule. And so he also asked about local versus wide area jackpots.
Local and pooled progressive.
Okay, yeah. By pooled, he means what's called a wide area.
Okay.
So with a local jackpot, that is specific to that machine only. And the one next to it might be exactly the same type of machine, but it'll have a completely different jackpot. Because, when you play this game, only money that you bet, all the money you bet goes into your meter, and it doesn't go into any other meters. Now, if it was a pooled jackpot, then it might be that a whole bank of games, like say 10 of them, they might all feed into the same meter. And because 10 games are feeding into the same meter, this jackpot is going to tend to grow higher, and it's probably going to be harder to hit. So it's kind of like a lottery. No matter where you buy your lottery ticket, the pool, the same pool increases. Whether you buy your Powerball ticket in California or Maryland, doesn't matter.
Is there a difference between progressives on slot machines and progressives on table games?
No, it's pretty much the same theory.
Okay.
Yep. Just
Okay.
the percentage in and some event triggers the jackpot.
Okay. Think we got enough time for one more question?
Yep.
Rad says, I heard that live dealers can make mistakes or cheat during the blackjack game. How can we protect ourselves against it, and how to choose a reliable casino to avoid this?
Well, I totally applaud live dealer casinos, because there you can actually see what's going on.
Mm-hmm.
And if you had any skepticism that the game was fair, like say in blackjack, that maybe you think that they took an ace out of the shoe, you could sit there tracking cards and keep account of how often you see aces. Mm-hmm. So I think it's much more transparent. It's not that I'm saying that there's a lot of cheating going on in fully digital games, but I think that live dealer games are a very good sign. And I think that gaming in general, that it's generally makes so much money that they don't even need to cheat. Why risk a business that's making millions of dollars, to cheat?
Right.
And risk losing it all.
Why cheat to get $10 when you're making $5 million a day or whatever?
Yes. Here's a story. Is I was once at the, what was it called? The visual, iGaming. Oh gosh, I can't remember the name of the software provider, but there's a live dealer studio in Costa Rica that I visited that I think starts with a V, and I was there and I looked and I saw a playing card on the floor, and the manager was like, "Oh wow, that should not be there." And so normally the casino is full of all these pretty women, but here's this guy in a suit, and this is in full camera. He bends down, gets the card, and he shows it to the camera, and then he tells the dealer to put it back in the deck. So it's not like he tried to hide the fact that at least they were like transparent that had happened, that they admitted the error.
Who was that?
Oh boy, it's the one that Five Dimes uses. I think it might be called Visual iGaming, something like that.
Okay.
Boy, if I were on my website, I could find it real fast. But anyway, I know we're running low on time. So
before we move on, I just want to say real quick, the two most prominent online live dealer casinos is Evolution Gaming and Izugi.
Yeah.
Evolution Online and Gaming.
Yeah, I really like Evolution. Not to say anything about Izugi, but I just don't know them as well. Okay. But I'm thinking about buying stock in
cool.
Evolution, but it's kind of difficult to get stock on. I think it's the Norwegian NASDAQ.
Yeah.
So, yep.
We got 3 questions left. Do you
okay, let's try to get through them quickly.
Okay. Lady Luck says, I have been thinking lately, and I was hoping you could give me an answer. What do you think is the best money management tactic in Blackjack? I am not exactly an advanced player, but I do have some experience, and what occupies my mind are insurance bets, and I've read is best to avoid them. Can you please elaborate why?
Yep, to start at the end, yes. Avoid insurance. It has a 7.7% house advantage, which is way higher than the base game. Mm-hmm. And as far as betting systems, it depends on your reason for playing, but if you want to minimize variance, then you should flat bet. Nice and simple. Now, if you want to have a small chance at winning a lot of money at the risk of probably losing, then you should be parlaying winnings. And if you want a high chance of winning a small amount at the expense of a small chance of losing a lot, then you should be parlaying after losses like the martingale. But no matter what system you may use, it doesn't affect the house advantage. That's always the same. And if you put any betting system or money management system through a simulator, over the long run, the house advantage, the actual amount lost to amount bet, remains the same no matter what you do. Personally, I don't like variance, and that is why, if I'm playing just for fun, that I flat bet.
Okay. I wouldn't really recommend the martingale, though. Martingale is not that great.
Oh, yeah. I would only recommend that, like I said, is if it's really important for you to walk out with a small win.
Yeah.
But you have to go in there with a big bankroll that you might lose all of it chasing $1.
Yep. And if you get on a bad streak, you're going to lose all of it, and that's the thing. It's streaks.
Yep, and martingale players will always say, oh, well, what's the chances of losing 10 in a row? Trust me, play enough and it will happen.
Yeah, plenty.
Yeah.
it'll totally happen.
It's not that unlikely.
Andreas says, do you think there's any truth to rumors about Las Vegas casinos tightening up video poker with high full pay tables to keep the house edge where they want it? I've returned to video poker after a lengthy hiatus and noticed lately that many of their video poker games have discouragingly low pay tables to what they used to be.
Oh, yeah, that's absolutely true. Every video poker player is lamenting this. Video poker pay tables have been getting worse for at least 20 years. Like, I moved here in 2001, and it was easy to find great pay tables and have an advantage without even any points at all. But now it's the days of video poker advantage play are nearly over. And because the pay tables are so bad.
So casinos are doing the same thing to slot machines that they're doing to table games, where they're putting 6 to 5 games in there instead of 3 to 2 to increase their profit, hoping the players don't notice.
You're absolutely right.
People.
Yep.
Okay, last question. Marina says, I would love to hear your opinion about skill-based slots. These games have been there for years, but they didn't have much luck in taking over the market. Do you think that will change anytime soon? And also, can you please tell us something more about the latest advances in the slot tournament systems?
Okay, about skill-based slots, yes, I fully agree that those have not done well. Why, you might ask? With games like Space Invaders, what was going on is when money got bet, like a progressive, like a certain amount was going into a meter, and that meter was for the bonus game. And when you triggered the bonus, you might play Space Invaders, and you would get paid according to how many points you got in the game. And what was happening is recreational players were not doing well in the arcade game, and shall we say, leaving money in that fund. And then advantage players were trolling around casinos looking for games like that where there was a lot of money in the bonus fund. And so what was happening was a transfer of money from recreational players to advantage players, which casinos don't like. They like grandma to win to keep her business.
Well, they like their money. I mean...
Right, but they also... Casinos long-term need players to lose but to leave happy. And for that to accomplish, they either have to win sometimes or not lose too badly. Mm-hmm. And so that's why they can't be too stingy in the short run. And so that's why, like I said, they like grandma to win, at least sometimes, to keep her happy and coming back. And so what one company is doing... I'm not sure I'm allowed to say this.
Don't get yourself in trouble.
Yeah. I'll say that a company that shall remain nameless has a really good idea to combat this problem. And then there's also games like the Gamblet games. And I think Gamblet does a really good job with their graphics and is a very friendly company. But I think their rake is just too high. And I think that even if the rake were lower, you would start to have a problem with advantage players just waiting to fleece players that were not as good as them.
Is there a lot of Gamblet games in casinos? Because the only one I remember seeing is the Pac-Man one at Caesars.
Yeah, I saw some at Caesars, saw some at MGM, maybe another one or two places, but I have never seen anyone play them. Yeah. I mean, as much as I like Gamblet, facts are facts.
Yeah.
I think, like I said, it's mainly because the rake is just too high.
Yeah.
But they had some good ideas. I would be happy to play their games if I didn't have to gamble so much on them.
There's some games you saw at G2E where I was at GameWorks and I saw the same game there because they couldn't get in the casino, so they got into an arcade. And it's like, oh, I saw that game at G2E. It was the tabletop one, and it was like the ocean. Yeah. And you had to go and get all the points. It was never in a casino, but now it's in GameWorks.
Well, good. I think a lot of these games are more suited for
arcades.
Yeah, for an arcade.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's my opinion. So yeah, I can't think of anything else to say about that.
Quick question: what's the difference between an arcade and a casino?
I'm sure this is a joke. It's a joke, right?
It's not a good one. I just made it up 2 seconds ago.
I mean, I could give you a factual answer, but
yeah, do that.
Well, in a casino, you might win, but you're probably going to lose more money. But actually, the arcades are kind of like gambling because you win tickets.
That's exactly.
And yeah, especially they even have like roulette games where like this light spins around and you have to hit it.
Yep.
And if the light stops in the sweet zone, you get a buttload of tickets.
Yep.
And that game is actually, the one at the Red Rock arcade at least, is you can time it. And I saw somebody winning that like 90% of the time.
Wow.
And just having an enormous pile of tickets.
Wow.
So there is advantage play in the arcades.
Yeah, there is.
Yeah, so, but, okay, what's your answer?
Oh, you pretty much got it. So the difference is arcades give out paper tickets that are your winnings, and then casinos give out paper tickets that are also your winnings.
Yeah.
It's just one of them you can only get, toys with, and the other one you get actual cash with.
Yep, and the gambling age is lower in the arcades.
And the gambling age is lower, yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay, well, let's see if we have any comments from the audience.
Okay, comments from the audience. Let's see here. Humanly Man says, have you seen casino bonuses that are capped, meaning after the wager you only get 1,000, even if you have 5,000 in bonus money? And should you only play slots with 100 to 200 top pay when wagering?
No, I have not seen a bonus like that that I can recall. Usually that if you complete the wagering requirement under all the rules, you get what you get. Sometimes they will take out what they initially gave you as the bonus. But as long as they're disclosed that in the rules.
Okay.
So do you think that answers the question?
I do.
Okay.
And then I have another one, and this is pretty good. Seneca says, does basic strategy only apply to the person using it, or does it help the whole table?
No, it only applies to the person using it.
Okay.
So there's a big myth in Blackjack that the rest of the table is helped or hurt by a bad player, and it's not.
Okay.
In the long run, everything averages out that is not under your control.
Okay.
So quit giving bad players a hard time.
Please, please.
Yes. No matter how badly they play, in the long run, they're neither helping you nor hurting you.
And it's their money.
Right.
Let
Exactly.
them do what they want.
Right. So just worry about your own cards.
Yeah.
Like your mother said, if you have nothing good to say, then say nothing at all.
Exactly. Great advice.
Thanks.
You're welcome. And then remember when J-Dog gave that trivia question earlier? The answer was true. When the casino was featured in the miniseries by the name The Casino, the owners knew him personally, and he did invest in the casino for a certain amount of equity. When the Breitling Group owned the Golden Nugget.
Okay, I did not know that.
Cool. And then Mr. Chad said, is Sickbo played in Vegas?
Yes, it is.
Oh, it is. Where?
At the Palace Station and
No
the New York,
kidding.
New York.
I didn't know that. Wow.
Unless they recently took it out.
That's
but the
cool.
Palace Station had a nice, really big table.
Can we go play one day?
Sure.
I want to play Sickbo.
And we can do our experiment with the slot ticket.
Oh, yeah. Perfect.
Okay.
Okay. Works. Okay. So let's see. How does a manufacturer such as AGS get away with must-hit 5K like River Dragon and Skins, where once the progressive passes a certain threshold, it either has 0% chance or infinite small chances of hitting before the 4990?
Yeah, this is another one that I could talk a while about. But the way everyone but AGS does must hit by jackpots, and let me back up by explaining what that is a must hit by jackpot starts at a certain amount and it must hit by some other amount. For example, it might start at $100 and must hit by $500. And it goes up at the same percentage of money bet, but the chances of hitting it are greater as the jackpot gets bigger. Mm-hmm. So there's two advantages to a big jackpot. The jackpot itself is bigger and it's easier to hit. And the way most people do it is mathematically the same as, like, if it starts here and it ends here, then they just pick a random point in the middle with according to the uniform distribution. In other words, every point is equally likely. And as soon as the jackpot meter crosses over this predetermined point, then that person who made that bet will win the jackpot. And so that's the way I think it should be done. Mm-hmm. But the way AGS is doing it is there's almost no chance to hit it while the jackpot is low. And if the must hit by point is, say, $500, there will be virtually no chance of hitting it until the jackpot gets to like 490. And so someone might see it at 480 and say, oh wow, the jackpot is close to the must hit by point, and they will throw money into the game playing it when they actually have almost no chance of hitting it because they're still $10 away. So that, in my opinion, is getting close to a point that I would call cheating. I think it's very deceptive. I don't think gaming should allow that.
Right.
I think it's extremely deceptive. But nevertheless, it's allowed, and I oppose it, and I warn players about this on my site and in my book. But nevertheless, I'm not the one making the laws, so all I can do is warn you not to play them.
What does the Nevada Gaming Control Board say about that?
Nothing. I mean, I'm sure they've never addressed it.
I wonder what they would say.
They would probably just say it doesn't break any law on the books. Thus, anything that is not specifically disallowed is allowed.
I could get into it for too long.
Yeah, but we are way over time.
We are.
So.
And everyone is saying Merry Christmas and Happy New Year's. And are you doing anything fun for New Year's?
Yeah, I'll be visiting my mom in Orange County, and my brothers and their families will be there.
Awesome.
And not sure exactly what we're going to do, but we'll probably have a party, and hopefully someone will shoot off fireworks or something there.
That's awesome.
We'll be close to the beach. How about you?
Working.
Aw.
I have a survey I'm doing. We're going around to the different casinos, and I'm collecting information. So I have like 100 casinos to do. So I have a lot of work, and so I'm going to be doing that the day before New Year's.
Well, if we're allowed to, let's talk about that on a future show.
Okay.
So, in closing, I wish the audience. It's already past Christmas, but.
Happy New Year.
But yes, Happy New Year in advance. Happy first day of Kwanzaa. Whatever you celebrate, hope you do have a good time in between that special week between Christmas and New Year's. That's kind of like a holiday for everyone. I think almost everyone finds a reason to, some sort of an excuse to celebrate it.
So that means I'll see you next year?
See you, next year.
2020.
2020. So thank you, audience, for showing up, and for any questions that we didn't have time to answer, please save them for the next live stream.
Sounds good.
All right. Thanks a lot, Heather.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
You're welcome. Okay.
Bye.
Bye.